I paid for your entire wedding. Why do you say that? I don't remember you paying $5 million for a wedding. Oh, I guess parents can't really give that much. If you don't like it that much, stop getting so worked out then. My eldest son and his wife had always been goading me, and I had reached the end of my patience. I'll gladly do so. My name is Kevin, a 52-year-old office worker. My wife had cancer and passed away a few years ago. I live in this house by myself. I have 2 sons, both of whom are independent and live away from home, so the house, which I bought for the family, feels quite spacious when I am alone. My oldest son, Jack, is now 27, and my second son, Robin, is 25. My second son has always been a serious and hardworking boy, and he is still working hard at a major company where he has found a job. However, it's my eldest son who worries me. He has always had a tendency to say the most outlandish things. Dad, I'm going to become a singer. A singer? At the age of 20, he suddenly said such a thing, that if he's gonna be a singer, he'll need vocal training, and for that, he should go to New York. He asked me to pay for his tuition so that he can study in New York. At first, my wife and I were against it, but he insisted to study there, so we offered to pay if he was that serious about it. However, all he did during his 1-year study was splurge on things such as unhealthy meals, baseball games, go to clubs, drinking, and e-cigarettes. When I asked him for more details, he rarely talked about his vocal training. He said he took it once, but stopped immediately because his teacher was so strict. We were upset that this had happened after we had gone to the trouble of paying for his study abroad. My oldest son has always been like that. Even when he expressed his intention to do something, he would immediately give up and rely on us, his parents, to help him. He failed the university entrance exam and attended a college preparatory school, but in the end, he was only accepted to a low-level university and dropped out after staying for 2 years. I was very worried about what he would do now that he had dropped out, but I was relieved to know that he worked as a freelancer and became a full-time employee. When he was still a freelancer, he lived at home, but when he became a full-time employee, my eldest son started living alone. Since then, he has rarely returned to the house, and the last time I saw him was at my wife's funeral. I was surprised to receive a phone call from my eldest son just recently. I was so surprised that I stared at the screen of my phone for a few seconds. I immediately picked up the phone and answered it. Hello, Jack? Hello, Jack. It's been a while. Hello, Dad. How are you? I've been well. I was surprised that you called so suddenly. Did you need something? Yeah, I just wanted to talk to you about something. About what? Well, I mean, it's important, but anyway, can I come over there on my next day off? Oh, alright. I'll be waiting for you. I hadn't heard from him in years, so I wondered what he wanted to talk to me about. I had a bad feeling because it was my eldest son. I spent the rest of the day until the holiday feeling anxious. Then Saturday came, and my eldest son came to my house. I hadn't seen him for a long time, and he looked a little chubby. We went to the living room, had some coffee, and sat down facing each other at the dining table. What's this important thing about? I asked him nervously. Then my eldest son fidgeted and made a surprising report. I'm actually thinking of marrying someone. Marriage? I exclaimed in surprise, and he nodded his head in embarrassment. I was deeply moved that my eldest son was finally getting married. I was genuinely very happy. I see. Congratulations. You've grown up, huh? So what is she like? We met at work and still work together. We've been dating for about 2 years now. I see. If you're planning to get married, I'd like to meet her. Actually, she's waiting for me at a nearby cafe. Really? Of course it's okay. Got it. I'll call you later. I had no idea that not only would he suddenly tell me about his marriage, but that he would also introduce his bride-to-be. I guess this is how fast and sudden change can be, as they say. While I was thinking about this, the doorbell rang and my eldest son opened the front door. A beautiful woman entered the house. My name is Jennifer, and I'm very pleased to meet you. Nice to meet you, Jennifer. I am Jack's father. Jennifer had long black hair, natural makeup, and was dressed in light colors, giving her a neat but mature look. Her manner of speaking was elegant, and I felt she would be okay. I felt relieved. When we chatted about various things, Jennifer smiles a lot and is surprisingly talkative, which was different from my first impression of her. We talked for about 2 hours, and when it was time for lunch, I decided to have food delivered from a restaurant. My oldest son and Jennifer were very happy and ate with relish. We finished the meal and called it a day. I'll call you when it's time to meet her parents or something. Okay, keep in touch. Thank you for the meal, Father. Excuse me. Seeing Jennifer being so polite, I thought she was a really solid person. After meeting with my eldest son and Jennifer, I called my second son. What? My brother is getting married? My second son was as surprised as I was. I met the lady he was with, and she was a very nice person. I see, so he's finally going to settle down, or at least become decent. I'm glad to see he's turned out so well after all that's happened. I'm really happy for him. It seems that there will be a meeting with the in-laws soon, so please make some time for it, Robin. Okay, got it. I'm looking forward to meeting his fiancée. About a month later, my second son and I met Jennifer's family. Her parents were soft-spoken, smiling, and kind from start to finish. We are so grateful that you will marry your mischievous daughter. Jennifer is mysterious. Hey, Dad, you don't have to say anything unnecessary. No. After all the trouble I've gone through to raise you, I'm so grateful that you'll get married. I felt a little closer to her parent because he said that. Speaking of mischievous, my Jack is the same way. Hey, Dad, you don't have to say that. No, I'll be sorry if I don't tell the truth, too. It's not fair that you're hiding the truth. Robin, you don't have to butt in. Everyone laughed at my eldest son's comment, and our meeting with the bride's family got off to a very good start. After that, Jack and Jennifer often came to my house. In short, it was mainly to talk about the wedding. This is the kind of wedding we want. That's good, isn't it? I checked out the place the other day, and it was really nice, so I'd like to have it here. I see. It's a once-in-a-lifetime event, so you should do whatever you want. It was heartwarming to see Jennifer and my eldest son happily talking about their wedding. After that, they seemed to have made up their minds about the wedding plan. Looks like we're going to have the perfect wedding. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I was as happy as if it were my own, but suddenly, my eldest son started to get nervous. What's going on? I was just wondering, but Jennifer and I have been putting a lot of thought into what we want, and our wedding budget has gone up quite a bit. How much is it going to be? I can help out a little bit. It's going to cost about $5 million. You didn't invite that many guests, did you? Yes, about 50 people, but there were some special effects I really wanted to do, so it ended up costing quite a bit more. I see. I have a favor to ask you, Dad. Jennifer and I don't have a lot of money saved up, and her parents don't have that much either, so if you could pay for the wedding, that would be great. I'm paying for everything? Please, I don't have anyone else to rely on but you. Please, I'm asking you too. Please, will you pay for the wedding? My eldest son and Jennifer even got down on their knees. I was very troubled. I myself have been working for the same company since I graduated from college, and I have a good position, so I have enough money in savings. My wife also left an inheritance, so money is not a problem. But if I give my eldest son so much preferential treatment, I feel sorry for my second son. I also wonder if I will regret being stingy at this momentous occasion, when my eldest son, who has a lot on his shoulders, is finally getting married. I asked him to let me consider it once and thought about it for a few days. Then I decided to pay all the expenses for my eldest son. Jack and Jennifer were very happy and thanked me. Dad, thank you so much. I will never forget what you have done for us. The wedding ceremony of Jack and Jennifer was held, which was a very nice wedding and very emotional. Seeing their smiling faces, I felt really glad that I had paid for the wedding. After that, my eldest son and his wife came to my house again. Dad, Jennifer and I talked it over, and we're thinking of moving in with you here. Move with me? Yes. Dad, I was talking with Jack about how lonely it would be for you to be here by yourself. You've been very kind to me, and I want to return the favor. Jennifer, I was so happy. Tears were streaming down my face because I had been so hard on my eldest son. I immediately accepted and decided to live with my eldest son and his wife. But as I lived with Jack and Jennifer, I gradually began to regret my decision. Hey, Jennifer, the living room is extremely dirty. Have you cleaned it during the day? Dad, you're not bullying me, are you? That's terrible. No, it's not that. It's just that it's messier and dirtier than it was before I left home for work. If it bothers you so much, why don't you clean it yourself? Huh? Jennifer quit her job and became a full-time housewife as soon as she started living with us. However, she never does any housework and is always idle. The clothes she has taken off are scattered on the floor, and dishes she ate lunch with have not been washed, and she seems to spend all day lying on the sofa eating snacks and watching TV. So, dinner has not been prepared, and the bathroom and toilet have not been cleaned. Of course, nothing has been done, not even the laundry. No matter how much I tried to warn her, she would tell me to stop bullying her and would not listen to me at all. When I talk to Jack about it, he tells me, Jennifer is my precious wife, so please be nice to her. And on the contrary, I am the one who is scolded. I ended up having to do the housework after work and cook meals for the three of us. Furthermore, my oldest son doesn't bring any money into the house at all. He spends his earning as much as he likes, buying expensive things for themselves or taking trips. I gradually began to think that my eldest son and his wife were trying to take advantage of me by using kind words to coax me into living with them. Perhaps they wanted to move into the spacious house, not pay rent, and even use me as their housekeeper. After that, their arrogance did not stop, and I became more and more stressed just by living with them. The food your father cooks is really plain or kind of tasteless. It's always been that way. I want to eat more pizza. Let's order pizza. I'll order it then. Dad, you'll pay for it, won't you? My oldest son and his wife completely disrespected me and did whatever they wanted, and I noticed that Jack had quit his job. It was as if I was just supporting two big kids. I was running out of patience. Hey, will you stop using me for your own convenience? When I said this to my oldest son and his wife, they shrugged their shoulders. Dad, what in the world is wrong with you? We moved in with you because we were thinking you were feeling lonely. If it weren't for us, you'd be a lonely old man. I was extremely angry at what my eldest son and his wife had said. I paid for your wedding. Why do you say that? Can't you be a little more grateful? Were you lying when you said you wanted to return the favor when you both moved in with me? When I said this with so much emotion, Jack and his wife snickered. I don't remember you paying $5 million for our wedding. Yeah, usually parents don't give that much. If you don't like it, then stop getting so worked up, then. I had reached the end of my patience with the eldest son and his wife, who were always goading me. I'll gladly do so. With that, I packed my bags and left home. I decided to rent a business hotel and stay there. If I left the house for a while, Jack and Jennifer might reflect a little on their situation. If they don't reflect on it, I will be in a certain state of preparedness. I lived in the hotel for about a week. My eldest son and his wife called me a lot and sent a lot of messages like, "Come home soon," but I ignored them. In the end, I was away from home for about 10 days, partly because I was busy with work and partly because I was comfortable living in the hotel. Then I returned home, and what I saw there made me absolutely mortified. The eldest son and his wife had left the house a mess, not cleaning it at all, nor doing any chores. He finally came home! Hey, Dad, what have you been up to? Can't you hurry up and clean up? What were you thinking, skipping housework? Jack and Jennifer were not remorseful at all. At this point, something snapped inside me. Let's do what I was thinking of doing in case they were not sorry. I cleaned up the dirty room and began to prepare a plan for the future. Then one day, I called my eldest son and his wife into the living room, saying that I had something important to discuss with them. What is it, Dad? What do you want to talk about? I don't need a sermon or anything. I just wanted to talk to you about the house. I'm in my 50s now. I think it's time to start thinking about inheritance. Inheritance? My eldest son seemed interested in what I said. Do you mean this house? Yes, I'm thinking of transferring the ownership of the house to you. Really, Dad? Yes, it's going to be our house? Thanks, Dad. You really care about me, don't you? Yes, and well, I'm glad you're living with me. Right. Why don't we remodel this house? I'll pay for it. When I said this, Jack and his wife rejoiced. A new house? That's great. We can invite our friends over for a house party and brag about it. My eldest son and his wife were excited, but this is all part of my plan. Soon, the two of them will be raising hell. I then changed the name of the house to Jack. They also had the remodeling work done by a company of their own choosing. Dad, thank you so much. You are indeed a rich man to pay for a renovation that cost $25 million. You're the one we can really count on. Thank you for saying so. The day after I had such an exchange with them, I secretly packed up my belongings and left. Sure enough, I received a call from my eldest son and his wife. Dad, where are you? Have you finished paying for the remodeling yet? Is that your first word to me? It's not about how I'm doing, it's about the money, huh? I'm really stunned. I'm sorry, but it's important, isn't it? More importantly, where are you? The bill has already come. I'm not going to tell you. I've already moved out of that house. I'm going to live by myself. You gotta be kidding me. No, it's not a joke. You and Jennifer treated me like a slave. I've reached my limit. You were planning to get rid of me after the remodeling, weren't you? I was shocked when you both told me that I never took care of your wedding expenses, so you'll have to pay for the remodeling yourselves. Oh no, we can't afford that kind of money. You're going to cancel, aren't you? It's going to cost you $2.5 million to cancel. The house isn't new, so why should I pay $2.5 million? You said you'd pay for it originally, so aren't you going to pay? I'm sorry, but the house is in your name, and you hired the remodeling company, so the payment is on you. No way. Then why don't you sell the house and make money? Yes, that's a good idea. If only it was worth something, though. What? I had the house appraised before, and it was worth nothing. I guess it's hard to sell now. Zero? So you guys will have to choose between remodeling with $25 million in debt or paying $2.5 million in cancellation fees. Oh no. I'm cutting ties with you now, so don't call me. Bye then. With that, I hung up the phone. Then I blocked his number from my phone. Jack and his wife then turned to Jennifer's parents, but I was already ahead of them. Her parents did not know that I had paid for the entire wedding, so they apologized and paid me $5 million. This included an apology for the enormous inconvenience that Jack and Jennifer had caused by moving in with me. As a result, I was able to get back all the money I had paid. Jennifer's parents disowned Jennifer and turned her away, telling her not to come home again. Therefore, Jack and his wife were left with only $2.5 million in debt, with nothing to gain. They are now working as freelancers to pay off the debt. Meanwhile, I moved into a small apartment near my company and started living there alone. It is close to my second son's house, so we often have dinner together these days. He also seems to have a girlfriend now, and she is a lawyer. The relationship is going well, and I am working hard every day, looking forward to the day when my second son will get married. I want to save up and help my second son as much as I can. The first son and his wife were amazingly crappy. The lack of appreciation for Kevin's kindness was a real bummer. It was scandalous because they finally went down. I hope Kevin spends his days happily with his second son, who is a serious and good boy, and that they will get along well with each other. Thank you for watching. How did you like today's story? Please subscribe to our channel. See you in the next story.